Kia ora, talofa everybody. Kenape and my beautiful wife Kayla here from Navigating Worlds podcast. It's a privilege to be here again. Thank you so much. You got any thank yous or anything you want to mention to the peeps out there?
Yes, I want to say a huge thank you to everyone who has messaged us, who has reached out, who has given us some love and support since we have started this venture of our podcast and of our wellness recovery creative space, Te Whare Hihiri. But especially this podcast, I'm really, really grateful to have received those messages of support, love, and how much the different topics that we're talking about resonates, whether it's through partnership, whether it's about our experiences, or whether it's about what we're doing now, moving forward together with. It's been really, really nice to receive some beautiful messages of support, so thank you all.
Kia ora. Thank you again. Just want to reiterate what my beautiful wife is saying. Thank you so much. All of those amazing messages, they make us really uplifted and make us inspired to keep delivering and saying meaningful things. We hope that you can take away. And I guess if we take it back to last week's...
Our first episode.
Yeah, our first episode last week, where the challenge or what I had given out was just around not taking things personally. And I think it's always an evolving thing. It's always going to change. But I'm getting better. I think we're getting better. I'm definitely getting better at not taking things to heart and just observing and not absorbing.
Getting there.
But it's a big thing just around just carrying on and keep going. Which leads us today to, I guess, well, officially, how's your week been?
My week has been really good.
Yes.
Quite busy, actually.
What have you been up to? What have you been up to?
The usual school holidays. It is the school holidays, so our baby is at home. She's actually been with you for a couple of days before Mahi, which has been really nice. So I'm hanging out with Nana, of course. So she is my main priority outside of our whānau, like outside of Kenape and Te Kani. And working on some creative projects here at Te Whare Hihiri. It's been a busy but blessed week. You know, how blessed am I to say that I get to work on creative projects on how to share our rongoa. I think that's really cool.
That's so cool. Well, thank you for sharing. I've had a good week too.
Oh yes, how was your week? Sorry.
Like Ella said, no, Paiana. It's been a productive week. It's been a good week. And I'm excited when it comes to this podcast because I think it's so cool that we have an opportunity to speak and to speak freely about our experiences. And I guess which leads me to the next part of our episode 2 today is about life in the FFN. And for those who don't know, the FFN stands for
the Far Far North.
And how does that relate to us? Well, we lived there for 2.5 years. We lived in the Far Far North. And I guess the reason I wanted this episode to be based around the life in the FFN was, I guess, so that we might be able to give some insights into, for anybody who might be relocating to a rural, like a small town. And I guess if there's some tips and tricks that we might have experienced ourselves that we might be able to pass on, then that's, I guess, the outcome, hopefully, that you'll be able to take from today's episode. And I guess, honestly, we'll start at the beginning. Like, why did we move up to the FFN?
Yeah, I guess what I want to add on to what Kenape is saying is it's not for just those relocating, but especially for those who are wanting to connect back to their home, to their whenua, to their hapu iwi. That is essentially, I think, the main message of this. Because anyone can relocate anywhere, but we're not relocating, for example, to Aussie. We're not relocating to another country, even though the Far Far North feels like a whole other country. It pretty much is. But in saying that, the move back to home, the move home to the Far Far North is about re-indigenizing ourselves. It's about decolonizing. It's about connecting to our marae, our moana, our whenua. If you didn't know, we were on the radio. We were on the radio with Tofinga, and we can play, we'll link that somewhere along here. And we did talk about us moving back to the Far Far North was about reconnecting with the whenua. It was about connecting to our health. And the reasons why we left ultimately was because I was burnt out. I was burnt out in my job, in our marriage, in the city, in the system, and I was really unhealthy, and it really showed.
I guess my experience with moving up, there were a lot of things I had to learn. How to adapt from, because I've been in the city my whole life, born and raised here for 30-something plus years. To relocate, for me was a big deal.
Have you ever moved away from home?
Never. You know, that's what I mean. Like Wellington was I thought that was it. We're always just going to live in Wellington. One of the big sort of changes that I had to get used to was when we were living off grid. I had to learn many things about really disconnecting, and I guess one of the main things that I enjoyed was once I got used to living in the FFN up there and rurally was you only use what you need. I don't know if you found that something that you experienced as well. Like having the generator on for power, like if the generator was off or there was no power, which meant using like a phone. I got used to using my torchlight and candles and just really disconnecting from the outside world, and it was really, really nice. And I really enjoyed disconnecting because I think a big part of my life and my journey was I was always on the go, connecting all the time with everyone else, and so it was nice to disconnect, and I really enjoyed that.
I want to ask, what was something like? What's one embarrassing story or something like an experience you had in the far north? So, for example, for me, we were living off grid at my beautiful cousin's house, my sissy cousin's house, and on our whenua. And one day, like, I remember my brother telling me, oh, if there's not any water coming through, you've probably run out of water. Because we're in tank, you know, like, we're in tank life, so we're not on the city system of, like, plumbing. And one time I, you know, just lifted the tap up, and there was barely any water coming out, and straight away I was like, oh, we've run out of water. We've run out of water. And so in order to get the water tank filled, you have to call the fire brigade. And they come and they bring like a whole tank of water and they fill up and you have to pay for that. You've got to pay for your tank water. You've got to, you know, and then everyone saws how much water they have, you know. Yeah, so I thought I was being really smart, like, oh, we've got to be prepared, we've run out of water. And I called the fire brigade people and they came. Nah, my tank was full. The water tank was full. It was just,
what was that issue?
It was just something to do with there was a blockage or something between the tank, like the tap and, I don't know, it was something really simple.
Yeah.
I can't remember. It was something really simple.
Yeah.
And yeah, basically, yeah, they told everyone. They're like, that girl, that lady who moved up, that's living there. They're like, who was that? My whole family were like, oh, they're like, yeah, she called us for a tank, and her tank was really full. So that was pretty much.
I can't think of an embarrassing story.
I have so many. So many.
How did you like living with your family, like close to your family, having like Papakaina style?
That's a good question, because Papakaina lifestyle is not for everybody. Yeah. You know, and like your neighbours literally. I was living around my uncles, right next door, right up on the hill, right down there, like, and my uncles are all lovely. Like, they all looked out for me. You know, I would never go hungry.
Yeah.
I would never go without gas, food, water. Yeah, they taught me so many things. But I mean, and at the same time, it also meant like, if you were just blasting your music, just cleaning the house, everyone thought you were having a party. Just like little things, you know. But like, people will come over all the time, but at the same time, I could also go to their house at any time.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's cool. I'm glad you got to experience that, because I when I was growing up, I lived in a Papaka style type space in Newtown, where everything was so close. Like, my friends were down the church was down the road. Everything was like my school was like.
You were like in a full-on cul-de-sac.
Yeah, pretty much. And so I got to experience. It was like a Papakaina style life, and I got used to just being around people and like and you
will go to each other's houses all the time, eh?
Our house was like the hub. Growing up, like, we had people just rolling through our house, and like, you've experienced what it was like for us in that space where people come, people go. So I'm glad that you got to experience like a Papakaina style type living, especially with your own whānau. Like, that's really cool. But I guess, what was the main things for yourself that you had to adjust to, like, coming from the city and then like being in a small town? Like, what are the things for you that you found like, what?
Top 3 things I knew. Well, my sissy cousins, they would, because, you know, we gave like a year's notice before we moved. My cousins would tell me things that I should work on or get used to now before leaving the city. Was like, there's no click and collect. There's no Uber Eats. The shops close at 6, 7 at night. There's only one dairy in Whatiwhiwhi.
Yep.
And that dairy is the gas station, and then there's the one fish and chip shop across the road, you know. And so it was like, get used to that life.
Yep.
If you want McDonald's, it's nearly an hour's drive. Just getting used to doing, like get rid of the convenience lifestyle. Oh. And I remember trying to get used to that. Yeah, I guess those were the top 3 things. Yeah, because we had built up a life of convenience,
It's been in Wellington, eh? Yeah. Our whole lives, everything.
We want it now.
But when you mentioned the fish and chip shop, it made me think about a story. I remember, I never thought I'd experience this, but we went to the fish and chip shop to get us some dinner, and Nanny was working there. Nan, Nahine. And we go and order our food, and then she's like, "Kanape." I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "Come in." I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "Okay." Come and cook your burger.
Never mind, your food's ready.
I thought she was saying
after you paid for it, go and cook it yourself.
That was something cracked up that I thought I'd never experienced, but that was a funny experience to happen.
Oh, I miss her so much.
We went to order dinner and then ended up cooking our own dinner. I was like, what the hell?
Only in Whakapapa.
Only in anyone else.
No, that's true.
Take my food, bro. So that was funny. That was something that
that's the best.
I got to experience, and it was pretty funny. So shout out, Nana. Thank you for the experience.
Preserving fruit with Uncle Hina.
Yep.
Love that.
Oh my gosh. Now you brought up fruit. Do you remember the hui? Do you remember the one time when you and your sissy cousin tricked me? Man, so I had just moved up. We had like a whānau.
It was a kurareo. Yeah, kurareo wānanga.
These trickies were like...
We went to our mara, our local mara. Our hapu marae.
Yes, please explain.
And they always say, like, help yourself. Because it's for the whānau. So if you see kai ready to be picked and things, like, by all means, help yourself.
And then what?
And then you help yourself to another.
No. These crooks, these crooks said to me, "Can you please hold that hui?" Because apparently it was heavy. And I was like, "Sweet," and bring it back to the marae. I was like, "Say less, like I got you." So then I was holding the hui, like confident as walking back. And then someone snapped the photo of me, like holding the hui, and I'm like confident, proud, happy, like, "Yeah, we just grabbed this from the
posing with it."
Posing, like, "Yo, cool." And then anyway, I see this post up on the Facebook page, and it was like on the Haiti Time Marae page, and it was like, "Has anyone seen the hui?" Bruh, has anyone seen the hui? The one that I took? And then someone put up the photo.
And then my other sissy cousin posted up the photo.
You mean this one? This guy's holding... Bro.
And it's so sad because it's actually a sad story. Like, shouldn't have taken the hui. Like, that's the sad part. But it was just gone because our whole family were just too busy laughing because everyone threw kenape under.
Oh, I reckon.
Everyone, even my nans were laughing. They were like, that bloody kenape, knowing full well.
So that was fun.
That was a good one. I missed that kurareo. That was so fun. We learned our haka. I even held a session, remember? On like Te Whare Wānanga, rounding our whānau in to the kaupapa. Our other sissy cousins, they led us through whakapapa. It was so beautiful. I miss the whāwhānau every day. Te Kari and I were just saying to Kanape, can we go up for these holidays?
We'll go back up soon. But yeah, it was just such a cool lifestyle. Like, I feel like once in your life, you got to go and experience like a rural town once in your life.
And not just any rural town, a far north town.
Or even just your own town, right?
Your own town, yeah.
I think it's a must do. Like, you must go back and reconnect because you feel different. Like, did you feel different from before you left it and then when you came back?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a whole different person.
Yeah. That's cool. And I'm so glad that we got to experience that lifestyle, being in the fun of so many crack up movies.
So those are my top 3 things I suggest to. What were your top 3 things?
Was living off grid was the generator, having a generator.
So cool though, eh?
So cool.
My preference, if I had it today, I would still live off grid.
Cool. Yeah.
Because it didn't, like, I don't know, people are like, oh my god, it must have been so hard. But it really didn't affect me because if you think about it, if you're at work all day, example, you don't really need power. And so you only need power in the evenings. And then even then, and it's so hot there, or the weather's so beautiful, you charge everything overnight, so what do you really need power for? Like, and because me, I'm more of a music kind of gal. Yeah, over TV. Yeah, so if the speaker's charged, the phone's charged, You have a portable charger for your phone. What do you really need? Like the oven's gas oven, so is the fridge. So they're fine. So you only really needed the generator on for the TV or like charging things.
Yeah. The power, getting used to disconnecting. It took me a little while to get used to it, but once I finally like found that groove, because I feel like you just gotta find your groove. Like you said, once you get used to, well, actually, you don't need to be on like the TV all day. Like we just got used to having no TV.
I love it. I prefer no TV.
Yeah, 100%.
I prefer it. And that's not to say like, oh, we were like Thornberries. Like, I'm not gonna start. Yeah, like I'm not gonna paint a false like picture. Like we had no electronics. Like we still like we had an iPad. You know, it was charged overnight. We had hotspot from our phones to the iPad. It felt like just camping everyday kind of lifestyle. You know, like we're not connected to power all the time, but we were at the same time because we still could go on social media. We still had Wi-Fi on our phones. There was still like Wi-Fi on the whare.
Definitely adjusting to the power.
And we were in Mai Tai Bay.
It's gorgeous.
Like,
it's gorgeous.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, would you rather be watching a TV or would you be down at the moana? Like, is your view looking at a screen or is your view your whenua? Like, come on.
I reckon.
You know, like for me, it was like, why are we waiting to retire, or why do we only wait till we're on holiday to live this life? Like this was our everyday life, and I would just always say to myself, like, I remember I would always dream of having a life like this. Like it felt like we had to be millionaires before we could experience the life of just sitting there looking at the moana. So yeah, that's what. So yeah, I miss home so much.
I think the other thing that I had to get used to was how far everything is.
Yeah.
I had to get used to, like in Wellington, everything is close by. Everything is so close by. You could walk, probably don't even walk, but you like can just cruise down for 5 minutes somewhere, like and you'll be at like a new world or something. Yeah. But where we were living, one shop that we had, sometimes if the, like what's funny is in that little space in Fatu Fifi, if the power's out, or everyone's power's out, unless you had a generator. But there'll be times when the shop had no power, and so to drive into town was like I think to get into Katai. So that was something that I had to get used to. Was that like
it's like half an hour, 40 minutes.
Yeah, like if you want to get to Pack and Save,
yeah,
that's like 50 minutes.
Yeah. So the nearest one was like our Foursquare was in Taipa.
And even that was like half an hour.
Again, 20 minutes.
20 minutes, yeah.
It was closer than Kaitaia.
Yeah, definitely closer.
Just on the other way.
Yeah. So that was one of the things I had to get used to. Everything was so far away. But it made me, it humbled my thinking, like that if you really wanted something, you would actually go get it. Or you would prepare well for things, like you would already have been stocked up, like just because you know it's such a mission that, you really had to make sure that you were sweet, you were good. And because the weather's so unpredictable, like I'm sending so much aroha and love to our whānau up there right now, going through it, like
this weekend.
Yeah, I think that was the other thing that I had to get used to, was the weather was so as nice as it was. When it was poos, man, it was poos. When it rained, it poured. There were days where it like
definitely tropical cyclone weather.
Flooding, you know the flooding. Like I used to buzz out at the flooding, like on the way to get into Mai Tai Bay.
To the turnoff.
If the turnoff was like flooded, every time it rained, Hatia got flooded, and there was the bypass. But that bypass was tricky. But yeah, just things like that we don't even really think about in the city, like how infrastructure is so important. You know, we don't even think about it. Like, but in the whānau, it really highlighted for me, like, shucks, if you're stuck, are you stuck? So you got to make sure you're well equipped and well prepared for anything. But yeah, all in all, I really loved the whānau, and I'm excited to be back up there again one day. And yeah. Anything else you want to add about the FFN? What you miss?
I miss everything. I miss Kane going to school there. I miss her going to Tirito. I miss the whānau, my whānau and friends there, my io take ropu.
Oh.
I miss my Te Aroha sisters.
Yeah, heaps of cool things. And you miss heaps of people, yeah.
Yeah, I miss the whānau and friends that we made there.
Yeah.
I miss the lifestyle. Even though everything was far, even though it was just paradise to me. The best feeling for me that it makes my wairoas and when I stand on the whenua there, like my wairoa is in.
That's it.
I feel whole.
That's cool. I guess for me, like, when we did come back home to Wellington, like, even for a visit, I felt claustrophobic. Like, I think I got used to life up there. You have so much space, and like, you have space to breathe. Not just the physical space around you, but I feel like having that space allows up, like, it frees your mind, and you get used to not seeing that many people. Like, I got used to, like, seeing, like, just find it, and that was great. And I loved it. And then I guess when we come back home for like a holiday, it's just so busy, and I guess just there you go.
I was gonna say, I get what you mean, because what you're saying is in the life, in the city life, or the life that we used to live, going out on the weekends, being with friends, family, and that social kind of life. Whereas when we went to the far north, I think that was the biggest thing that changed for us. Was we still had a social life, but it wasn't the same. Like you've given up drinking. We weren't, or especially me. Like I loved going clubbing. Like I still miss it. I tell Kinabe, I still miss going clubbing, but just for the sake of dancing, you know. Like,
what's your favorite movie?
Save the Last Dance.
Save the Last Dance. I swear she's the main character in Save the Last Dance.
I'm all of them. But yeah, like, and I remember I just missed that lots, and I'd always be like, oh, I just want to go out. What does everyone do around here? And everyone's like, no.
Oh, and that's the other thing. Everything closes by 7:30.
Yeah.
That was one of the big things we had to get used to, was everything shuts down early. So if you didn't get in.
And gigs are far and few. Like not many artists would go all the way up to the far north.
Yep.
Hey, like, what's that town? Ruakaka is normally where it stops. Do people normally?
Ruakaka is just outside of Whangarei.
Yeah,
like,
and
just
then
before Whangarei. It was mostly
quite
artists.
rare if they came to Kaitaia.
Yeah, because it goes Ruakaka, Whangarei, and Kirikiri is maybe that. So if that's as far as they went, was Kirikiri.
True.
And yeah, I guess the big concerts that happened while we were up there was Sons of Zion and Catch a Fire.
Yes.
Which was cool, and I actually got to MC the Catch a Fire show. It was Catch a Fire. What else was there? Oh my gosh, Shefu
Kings.
Kings came with Sons of Zion.
Yes.
But yeah, like it was actually still pumping. Horizon. Shout out to No Horizon up there in the music scene up there. Yeah, I think we'll speak more about that in another episode. But music scene in Kaitaia is really, really cool. A lot of cool characters up there. Team holding
There's
it down.
so many talented people in the far north.
100%.
I think that was the best thing for me, was to see and experience so many of my whānau, my whanaunga, like witnessing them thrive. And I think I already had a stereotype of before going up there of like my measurement of
what success
looked like was so westernized, not it, you know. And so to have to go home and actually see beautiful wahine who were like mums of 5, and they were also the kaiako. You know, I met beautiful women who were still doing marathons, still running things that we would do here in the city. They were still doing in the far north, and they're just so strong. You know, they hunting gatherers, all the women riding the horses. They're like out there diving, out there fishing, all the things. And I was just like, yes, that's my family. Like, oh, I've been in the wrong place. No, kidding. I love Wellington. I love Puriroa, where I come from, definitely. But I know deep down I'm very much more of a nature galley.
Fair enough.
You know, everyone loves to look good. That probably won't change. But I also feel that comes from our cultural background, like especially as growing up Samoan. Like there's no not ugly. There's no messy Samoan. You know, like we're taught from a young age, like do your hair properly, clothes, all those things. I think sometimes when my Māori whānau see me and they may have a judgment, or just people in general, that like I might be so put together, I'm so into my looks and my aesthetic. Like, yes, absolutely. But that was actually ingrained from my nana, as from a young age. Like, White Sunday, like there is no, like in our Samoan culture, we do not go out with messy hair or anything like that, you know. And every time I would, I'll get in trouble. Not a smack. Definitely, like, go fix your hair. Even my daughter now, she loves to wear her wild hair out just like me. And Nana's like, go put her hair out, like, go brush her hair. And Tiana's like, I did brush it.
You know what? I think one of like the coolest things I heard in your corridor was, I love being Samoan. in the final. And what I loved about that was I feel like the final really embraced me as a Samoan, and I guess I never felt so proud to be Samoan being up there. Like I was like, wow, like of all places, like this place really accepts me for being Samoan, and I never thought, I just didn't think that it would be like that. I didn't know. And I guess, like you said, a lot of it was like decolonizing my brain to a lot of things, and that's what I loved was being Samoan and being proud and loud about it. And everybody was so cool about it, and I got to teach Samoan, Siva, and Bese at schools in the far north, and it was widely accepted. They loved it, and I'm grateful that I got to do that. Be a proud Samoan in the FFN. Let's go.
Yeah, and I'm thinking back, and I'm so grateful I got to experience being immersed in marae. You know, before we left for the far north, I was not connected to our Māori at all. Like I was very much like just had my feet, my toes dipped in, and so moving up home was like being immersed in marae, and not just my marae, but marae of Ngāti Kahu, and it was amazing. Doing miri there, me and Ramari, Sisi Ramari, like she would take me on. I was like her little buddy. I was so grateful. Her and her whānau, my house of Rehua, Mia, Amelia, Katie, all our sisters, our Wairua sisters. It was so awesome being immersed in wānanga. Yeah, I loved it. I loved it so much. I miss it. That's the things I miss. If anything, it's our life in the far north is what inspires me to create our life here in Wellington while we're here. This is what's helped me to create and bring the rongoa that we've learned, our mātauranga, from home and bringing it back here, because I am a whole different person and this is who I am.
I love that. Thank you for your kōrero. I love that going home has been able to heal a lot of things for you, for us, and that connection back to your whenua, that connection back to yourself and
my whānau,
to your whānau has really helped to, like you said, you started up there, and to be able to bring that back to Wellington, what a privilege, what a blessing to be able to bring that to our hometown, the mahi that you've started up. So very grateful to have gone up there. Yeah, thank you for listening to our kōrero. I'm not sure if there's anything else I can think about the far north, but we loved it. We can't wait to get back.
The question is, what are some things that you still instill in your life today from your experience in the far north?
Oh, yes. I love that. Thank you. So what is something that I started doing up there that I still do now?
Because you're a whole different person too.
Yeah. I think a big one, and I shared about it last week, was being near the moana. Like we are surrounded by water, like in Wellington, and I never really found a connection to the moana for whatever reason here in Wellington. It was rare for me to get into the moana. I don't know what it was, but when we went to the far north, something just always drew me to the water in the FFN. Something inside of me healed, and being around the water really helped to heal me. Cause I was in the water like every day up there. Like there'd be times where I'd wake up, drive to the beach, like 5 minutes down to the beach, have a swim in the morning, and come home. Like
I wish he was.
And so that was something. You know what? I need to challenge. That's the challenge to myself. That's something that I need to get back into, is being around the moana, because I know the effects that it has on my body, on my spirit, everything. Like it helps in so many different ways. And so I need to reconnect again with the moana.
Love that for you. Things that I still carry on, that I still implement in my life today, that I picked up from the far north, is definitely looking after my wairua first. Yeah, so something that I instill in my life today from the far north is taking care of my wairua, my hauora first and foremost. I'm glad that I haven't rushed back to a life of convenience, even though we have it, is what I love. And it's also supported my transformation and growth, but it's added a layer of resilience. I feel like I've always been resilient and I've been ambitious, but my experience in the far north has just added a whole nother level of like oomph. You know, like we can get anything we desire. Like we come from greatness. I know who I am. Like my tupuna is my back. Things that I really didn't have within me when we were living down here before. Like I'm so grounded in who I am. I'm so grounded in my whānau. I know my whakapapa on both sides. That helps with sense of belonging. That helps with self-awareness. It helps also with visionary and setting goals. We know that a lot of people struggle to move forward sometimes in things that they want to in their lives because of no sense of belonging, no identity,
100%.
Health not well. I know that firsthand. That was me.
Disconnected from yourself.
Disconnected from myself, disconnected from the whenua, disconnected from my whānau, disconnected from my identity, my culture.
So very cool. And we're here in this beautiful space now, and all the things that we learned up there, we're back, we're better connected to ourselves now, which is really cool.
Yeah. It wasn't always perfect. We did go through a separation up in the whāwhānau too. But we'll leave that for another episode.
It's a whole nother all experiences. Sad ones too, but we're here, we're there, we're everywhere. We're going to close off this episode by saying thank you again to each and every one of you.
Ngā mihi, ngā mihi.
Whakatei lava. Appreciate and love you all. We hope you're enjoying our content and what we're sharing.
Yeah.
We hope you find something useful out of what we have to say.
If there's anything that you want us to talk about, if you have any questions, or if if there's something that we've said and you want us to elaborate,
Yes.
no mai, haere mai, pātai mai, let us know.
Actually, let us know. Because we want to create a community where we can connect and not just us just blabbering on. Like, we want to hear what you guys are thinking, and if we can help out in any way, then that's us. So thank you so much. We look forward to hearing from you. We're excited to keep sharing and to hear from all of you. Thank you so much. See you again on the next one of Te Lava.
Now we're going to go be parents.